For your attention.
I'm sorry, it's only God that does not make mistakes. Your Grace, President of the Supreme Knight, Bishop Kukah, Governor's representative, and all other protocols observed. This is not the first time I'm having the misfortune of responding to Bishop Kukah's paper. I call it a misfortune because I have never received an advance copy of his paper. So what I try to do is I prepare a separate paper. I imagine what he's likely to say, so I can respond to it. And I have not done that. Well, the angle I'm coming from, I'm not a social scientist. It's more like theology, if you like it that way. Bishop Kukah has spoken to us about the properties of marriage, unity and indissolubility. I want to complement that by talking about the ends of marriage, what we call the ends of marriage in Catholic theology. And these are companionship and procreation. Genesis chapter 2, from verse 18 to verse 24, gives companionship as the reason why God created marriage, because God created marriage to provide a suitable helpmate for the man. The same Genesis also tells of God's blessing on the man and woman that created to increase and multiply and fill the earth. That is Genesis chapter 1 verse 28. Traditionally, the church adds to procreation the education of offspring, education in the sense of upbringing. That is to say, it is not enough for parents simply to bring children into the world. They must also be there to bring them up in the world. These ends of marriage have come under some pressure in recent times. More and more, husbands and wives are constrained to live apart from each other because of the exigencies of the workplace. The husband's work is in one city, while that of the wife is in another city or even another country altogether. This can have a negative impact on the value of companionship in marriage. If care is not taken, the two of them can gradually drift apart. If there are children, there can be repercussions for their upbringing. The pressures on the value, so companionship is one of the values of Christian marriage. The pressures on the value of procreation and education of offspring are even more challenging. Gone are the days when couples look forward to having a football team of offspring. The current economic situation in most parts of the world, and certainly here in Nigeria, will simply not allow that. So too will even the demands of education or upbringing. The modern trend is to have what is called manageable families. Manageable can vary from one couple to another, depending on a variety of factors, economic being one of them. This situation has led to the demand for family planning. The church prefers to call it responsible parenthood. For the avoidance of doubt, the church has nothing against planning the family. Years ago, I used to be at Ibadan. I was at the seminary of St. Peter and Paul. His Grace and I were together there in those days, and I was talking to a group of very staunch Catholic laymen and women about the need to bring up your children, form your children, and all that. And one man who was very committed in the church got up and said, how does one do all these things you are talking about when the Catholic Church does not allow family planning? I said, hey, the Catholic Church allows family planning. The Catholic Church encourages family planning. The church does not encourage couples to go on having children that they will not be able to provide for adequately, not just materially, but in terms of a holistic management, material, psychological, emotional, and spiritual. But of course, the position of the church on planning the family is well known and has been well documented. It is that a couple may employ only natural methods of family planning while steering clear of all artificial methods. This position was stated emphatically by Pope Paul VI in his letter Humanae Vitae all the way back in 1968. That remains the position of the church to this day. Israeli has gone. I wanted to inform her that here in St. Leo's Medical Center, we do give training on natural family planning. And I would imagine that some other Catholic clinics and hospitals are doing the same thing. Expectedly, the church has come under severe and sustained criticism for holding this position in the name of human rights and modernity, particularly following the publication of Humanae Vitae. Some of the most strident opponents of the church's position have been Catholics themselves, even Catholic theologians. In spite of all the opposition, the church has seen no reason to retreat from her position 49 years after Humanae Vitae. Now, what I've tried to say in all this is that certain traditional family values of the Christian family are being subjected to different sorts of pressure today in Nigeria and elsewhere in the name of human rights and modernity. Now, when people say this is human right and that one is not human right, I say human rights can never contradict God's design. Because God himself is the creator of the human being. And the rights are human precisely because God put them in the texture, structure of the human being that he created. Now, there is a real and present danger that some Christians will be induced to abandon those values or call them into question. Where that has happened or is happening today, all has not been well with the society. Bishop Kukah began his presentation by citing Confucius, who said something to the effect that if things don't go well with the family, then things will not go well with the society. And I agree with that. It is a well-known fact that the family is the nucleus of the human society, any society, civil or religious. Whatever affects the nucleus, for better or for ill, necessarily affects the entire organism too. And that is what is happening to the society in our world today. Society is no longer at ease, largely because the values of the family are being eroded in many ways. Again, in the name of human rights and in the name of modernity. If we want our society to get back on an even keel, then we must repossess the values of the family as defined by the author of marriage himself and the author of the family, and as enshrined in sacred scripture and for us Catholics in the authentic magisterium of the Church. The Christian faithful, you, my dear brothers and sisters in particular, have an important role to play here. Everyone who has spoken so far has stated that. Because you are the ones who get married and build families. You are the ones who will have to school yourselves thoroughly in the authentic values of the Christian family. I'm saying here that you have to be knowledgeable about what the authentic values of the family are. And I worry because sometimes the level of awareness, the level of understanding of the Church's teaching on vital issues among our lay people is very low. Brigadier spoke about that, even Bishop did. And it is not because the Church is not making an effort. We are not seeking to provide the knowledge. But all too often, when we try to provide the knowledge, people are not interested. For many years, here in St. Leo's Parish, I organize every Monday night what I call the Catholic Study Group, where we study Scripture and the catechism of the Catholic Church that Brigadier spoke about. You would have thought that people will rush to these sessions to learn about what the Bible is saying and what the Church is saying. And sadly enough, that has not been the case. We hold these sessions, and if we get 50 people coming, we are lucky. Other times we organize lectures, organize talks, seminars, workshops. People are not coming. It reminds you of the king who prepared a meal, a feast for his son, and invited people, and they refused to come. So I'm saying that it is necessary, it is critical that our Catholic lay men and women will educate themselves, will learn what the Church is saying, not only about family values, but in this case, we are talking about family values. When we have become sufficiently aware of those values as presented by Scripture and our Church, then we should take the next step to try and install those values in our own families. So we should not just learn about the values, we should install them. Bridget and Pat, both of whom are married, have spoken about their own experiences. If a critical mass of Christian families get to know sufficiently, become sufficiently aware of what the Christian family values are, and they install them in their own families, the impact on the society at large will be salutary and long-standing. Thank you very much.